Welcome back to another episode of Carson's Aquatics. Today we're going to start setting up my 470 gallon pool pond. I know the title said 500 gallons, it's just a prettier number, but this thing is indeed 470 gallons. Easily going to be my biggest aquarium I've ever set up. I do consider this thing an aquarium because it has one really cool feature that not a lot of pool ponds have, and you guys will see what I'm talking about here in just a little bit. But yeah, here's the pool pond still in the box. And real quick, I do want to give a big thank you to Boswell for sending it over. They hooked it up big time, so if you guys like what you see in this video and you want to pick up one of these pool ponds for yourself, I'll have the link down in the description where you can do that. But yeah, in this video we are going to put this thing together. We're not filling it up today because I do not have a filter yet. I'll hopefully be getting that this week, and once I do that we can obviously fill it up, start throwing some monster fish in there. I currently only have 4 fish that can really go in here. My 2 Oscars, my pike cichlid, and my black belt. So those 4 will be going in this pool pond, and it is 470 gallons, so we're gonna have a lot of extra room. So you guys know what that means. We're gonna be getting a lot more monster fish very soon for this pool pond. We can finally get a big old arowana, we can get a gar, bunch of monster catfish, peacock bass, all that stuff. So yeah, we are gonna start putting this thing together later in this video. If you guys are only watching this video right now to see the pool pond, I'll have the timestamp right here where you can see that. But right now we are gonna head on up to the office and take a look at the tanks we have in there. If you watched the last video, you saw us set up this 15-gallon Fluval Flex tank, and as you can see, it's looking absolutely beautiful. The water is just crystal clear. All the plants seem to be thriving in here so far. I did actually pop a little snail in here. You can see him right there. He was in the 37-gallon tank, but I wanted to get some life going in here, so I tossed him in there. But today, in this video, we're actually going to be putting the first fish in this tank. We're going to end up putting my 5 convict cichlids in here, but first we're going to pop some guppies in this tank. I really care about the convict cichlids. I bred them myself. Those guys are my babies. I wouldn't want anything happening to them, so I'm going to play it super safe. Put a little school of guppies in here for 3 or 4 days, make sure the water's completely fine. I'm like 95% confident it is, but I mean, can't be too safe. So yeah, we're just going to take a little school of guppies from my guppy breeding tank back in the fish room, bring them over here, and while we're over there, we're going to do one more thing, which I'll tell you about in just a second. First, I do want to give you guys an update on the 37-gallon tank. It's doing great as well. Really not much to say about this tank. All the fish are chilling in here. There's our girl Angie, the angelfish, and we got Twiggy chilling on the filter back there. Yeah, the tank's doing great. These plants are thriving. I think these Java ferns are already growing baby Java ferns. You can see that right there, that one back there. I don't think those were there when we first set up this tank, so that's obviously a good sign. But yeah, now we are gonna head back down to the fish room real quick and talk about that thing that I just mentioned. So if you guys watched my house tour video a few weeks ago, you heard me say that we don't have any electrical outlets down here in the new fish room, which, you know, might be a problem. You kind of need outlets to have a fish tank. So we hit up our landlord. We asked if we could possibly have some more outlets installed down here. We do have the one over there for the washer, but we're obviously gonna need a lot more than one. And unfortunately, our landlord said we cannot have any more outlets installed down here. I did offer to pay for installation, but they still said no, so I guess they have their reasons. It's whatever, but I am not gonna let that stop me from making this into my new fish room. So what we got right here is a 50-foot power cord, and it actually has 12 outlets on it. I think they're spaced out every 4 feet or so. So we'll just plug this into the outlet over there for the washer, run it as far across the basement as we can, and I think 12 outlets should be able to power like 4, maybe 5 of my tanks. But I figured it might be a good idea to test this thing out before we move all my huge tanks over here. The last thing we need is to move my 125 all the way over here and just have this thing not work. So we are gonna be taking this over to my parents' house, over to the old fish room. I'm gonna plug it into the wall, and then I'm gonna plug my tanks into it. We'll fill up all 12 outlets, make sure it can run, make sure it doesn't trip a breaker or anything, and hopefully all goes well with that so we can bring it back over here, get it all set up, and then start moving my tanks over here. So that's the plan for that. Like I said, it'll only power like 4, maybe 5 of my tanks. So for the rest of my tanks, I haven't quite figured out what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna figure something out when we get to it. Trust me, I'll figure it out. And yeah, I'm just super excited. Fish Room 2.0 is finally underway, and it all begins today with that beast right there. But first, like I said, we are gonna head over to my parents' house, feed all the animals. I'll probably update you guys on a few of them. We're gonna test that power cord. We're gonna pick up some guppies, bring them back here, and then it's pool pond time. So with that being said, I'll see you guys over at the fish room. Alright guys, so we are over here at the fish room. I got Tori with me. And we're currently feeding everyone. You can see the turtles munching away right down here. Midas is trying to escape. And I guess while we're here, we'll do a couple feedings on camera. So first up, we got the baby red-tailed catfish. For them, we're gonna dump in some bloodworms and brine shrimp. And there they go, zooming around looking for food. I cannot wait to get these guys over to the new fish room. And I think they're gonna be going in the 75-gallon tank. That's my plan right now. We're gonna get most of these fish into this tank. And this is gonna be like my smaller to mid-size American cichlid tank. So the red tails should fit perfectly in there. And yeah, right now they are just absolutely munching. And now we're gonna dump some of these in for the baby convict cichlids and watch them munch away. Again, these are the fish that are going in that 15-gallon tank in the office. They're gonna look so cool in there. And I think we're actually gonna have Tori feed the big boy tank. And these are the fish that are going in the pool pond. You can see the size of these Oscars. Fozzie turns to the side here. Yeah, look at that compared to my hand. This dude is probably around 10 inches, and then tank is probably like 9-ish. But we are going to feed them. Oh, and then do the other one real quick. Yeah, they're crazy with it. Oh, Ozzy.
Any more?
Yeah, you can do a few more. They're going to look so cool in that pool pond. They're honestly gonna look small in that pool pond. This is a 125-gallon tank, and their new home is going to be 470 gallons. It's gonna be insane. All right, guys, I know I didn't show all of it, but we just got done feeding everyone. And now, like I was talking about, we are going to test out our power cord. I'm just gonna plug it right into this wall. Hopefully it works. So we're gonna cut the zip ties off this thing. All right, I think they're gonna light up. Here, get a close up of this. I think they light up like when they're not being used.
Really?
Let's see. Oh,
Ooh.
is that orange?
Yeah.
It's kind of dope. Yeah, well, that's a good sign. Obviously, all of them are lighting up, and I think there's even one on the end of the cord. Yeah, look at that. So it is a 12 outlet, and I guess, I'm gonna plug something into all of these just to make sure it can handle it. I'm assuming it will, because all the reviews on this thing, people use this for like bands. They'll have like a ton of super powerful instruments plugged into these, and they say it runs with no problem. So I'm sure it can handle a few fish tanks, but we're about to find out.
A few moments later.
Alrighty, guys, good news. I plugged in something into each and every one of these outlets. There actually is only 11 outlets. I guess it included the one on the end. But yeah, as you can see, we've got something plugged into every single one, and they've been running for about 15 minutes. Everything is working completely as it should. So now I'm pretty much just gonna unplug everything, put it back how it was, roll this cord back up. Then the last thing we need to do over here in the fish room is grab some of these common guppies out of my guppy breeding tank. And I think I'm also gonna take this hornwort and put it in the 15-gallon. I think it would look really good in there. But I'll probably grab around 10 of these guys, put them in a bucket, then we'll bring them back to the house. And yeah, I'll see you when I'm done with all that. I think I'm gonna get the plants out first. This hornwort looks good. There's also some duckweed on this. It would be cool if we get a little duckweed going in the 15-gallon. There we go. There's a scoop right here. Boop. Oh, I had to have just gotten like.
Yeah, you did.
All right, we'll do a couple more. Boop. Not a single one.
I bet I could do it on my first try.
You want to put that to the test?
Yeah.
You just got rocks.
Ooh, I got a plant.
Caught a plant.
What the freak? Come on.
Oh yeah, go. There you go.
Yay.
Good job.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys, we are back at the house. We've got our plants and guppies right there. Again, here's our 15-gallon tank. You can see Snaily going for a little stroll. And we're pretty much just gonna grab this whole thing of hornwort. And like I said, there is also some duckweed in that. And we're just gonna plop it on into the tank. And it's pretty much just gonna end up where it ends up. It should pretty much all stay floating, but some of it might hook onto like a rock or the driftwood. It's gonna look cool either way. Now we are gonna scoop the guppies out and put them in the tank. All right, I got 3 of them right here. And there they go, the first fish in this 15-gallon tank. Got 2 more right here. And there they go. And I just got all the babies right here. There they go, and that is all of them. I think we had a total of like 12. We got like 5 or 6 decent sized ones, and then the rest are just babies. So yeah, we're gonna leave these guppies in this 15-gallon tank for like 3 or 4 days. And we're gonna bring the convict cichlids over here. I'm gonna try and get as many of the guppies out as possible. Probably won't be able to get them all out. And you guys will probably see that in a future video, but right now, it is time to head down to the new fish room and start setting up our 470-gallon pool pond. I would usually throw the instructions. It's kind of my thing, but I think we're gonna need them this time. So we can still throw the box though. Yeah, so we've got everything out of the box. Here are all the pieces. And I guess I'll just go ahead and show you guys why I consider this thing an aquarium. It does have a completely clear front viewing panel. I think this is so cool. We're gonna be able to see all of our fish from like a side view instead of just above. And yeah, as you can see, there are a ton of pieces. So I'm gonna take my time putting this thing together, read these instructions very carefully, and get our first ever pool pond all set up. Alright guys, and just like that, the pool pond is built. And here's a look at it. As you can see, it's got that clear front viewing panel. That is definitely my favorite part of this pond. And this thing is the real deal. It's got all these legs on it. It's got support straps on the top and bottom. And this liner is thick. Even this clear stuff, all of this feels super heavy duty. You can also see we've got a little drainage valve over here. I think you could also hook up a filter to that. Not sure if we're gonna do that or not. But yeah, it looks sick and it is absolutely huge, as you can tell. I'll actually hop in here for a quick size comparison. Yeah, I could quite literally swim in this thing. I can comfortably lay down in here. And I'll tell you what, if this video gets 2,000 likes, I will swim in this pool pond before we put the fish in here. I might even swim in it when we have the fish in here, I don't know. But yeah, this thing is awesome. I am so excited to fill this thing up and get my fish in here. I will be honest, it was a little bit tough to set up. In the instructions, they did say you should have at least 2 people setting it up. I did this alone. But the main thing I was having trouble with was sliding these metal tubes through like the sleeves in the liner. These sleeves are super tight and these poles did not want to go in. I had no other choice but to squirt some soapy water into them just to try and slicken things up, and it did work perfectly. Once I got that soapy water in the sleeves, it all slid right through. And yeah, that was pretty much the only difficult part of setting this thing up. Everything else was pretty self-explanatory. And yeah, there's one last look at it from a distance. Very soon, I'm gonna figure out what I want to do with the filtration in this pond. And then once we get that done, we can fill it up and start moving our fish over here. You guys aren't gonna want to miss that, so be sure to stay tuned. That is pretty much gonna wrap up this video, and today's comment of the day goes out to. And if you want your comment to be the comment of the day in the next video, all you gotta do is drop a comment down below, and that could happen. And if you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.